Dis 20:01 en ons gaan oorskakel Engels toe. Kyk, hulle hou my op my tone hierdie laaste week met my Engels wat nie altyd so lekker wil saamwerk nie, maar jy weet as ek met Prime Circle kan praat dan moun ek glad nie. Hi guys, how are you?
Hallo, how are you?
So op ons Zoom vandag het ek vir Gavin Edwards en ek het vir Dale en hulle is van Prime Circle. I am so excited to talk to you guys about this new song you've got. It is incredible.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So we're going to try and do this, and I'm going to try and get to everything that I want to know about this song. I know that you guys are very busy, but this is something quite different for you guys. Not sound-wise necessarily, but it's something quite different, and it is amazing. So quickly tell me, I haven't said the song's name yet, so quickly tell our listeners about your new song.
Okay, cool. Well, the new song that is being released now off the album The World We Know is Calling on Angels. The reason that you're actually speaking to myself and Dale is because this song is tied in very heavily with our past, our present, and then our future going forward. And when it was written, the five of us were in studio. We knew this was going to be something that was going to be special because, we've had quite a past, and myself and Dale were present in that past for quite a long time, and this was sort of a confirmation of us setting ourselves free.
So this is amazing, and for people don't obviously know yet, but your new single Calling on Angels is released specifically during Recovery Month. Why is it so important for you to align the release with that timing?
I'll take this, Dale, and you can take the next one, definitely. I think it's very important. There's something that Dale and I went through. Both of us did. Both of us are in the public eye, so our life is always in the public eye. When I, right before The Voice and on The Voice, mentioned that I was an alcoholic and I was giving up drinking, I figured out that to profess it with the tongue and to tell everybody, myself included, God included, that this is the problem I have. I need help with this. I need you to all understand this is serious. It really changed my life, and the same thing happened with Dale as well. And aligning this with Recovery Month is basically that we can get the word out to tell people, whoever's in that situation, who feels like, first of all, they have no other option, they have no one to call to, they've burnt all their bridges, there is no better, is that you have a voice. And you have people that are willing to help. You have everybody that is willing to help. So if you use that voice to call out for help, we're going to help. So that's why we try to tie it in with that, because all the stats that have been showing, South Africa's got quite an addiction problem, and it goes all the way down to 6 years old. So this is quite intense, and it's something that we need to, for the people that struggle with this issue. They need help, and Dale and I, we know about that, and that's what Prime wants to do. We want to help.
So, Dale, Gavin mentioned now the statistics. So, the Sanka report highlights alarming statistics, especially with young people, where we're living in a time where across the world, younger people actually stop drinking as much, but not in South Africa. So, we've got an addiction problem which is worse with alcohol, but also drugs and so forth. How do you hope your music contributes to this conversation?
First and foremost, so Calling on Angels is obviously, like Gavin said, it's our recovery song. We wrote it, so, basically the words say it all. We're calling on angels to help us. Both being recovering addicts, he's 10 years, I'm a year and a half sober. So
congratulations.
Thank you. My whole thing is I hear more and more stories about 11-year-olds drinking, and because it's so accessible. So I am a father, let's say, with two kids. Let's say they're both 11 and 12. I have a bar. They see I drink on weekends. They see I have people over. I'm having fun. This must be fun. They start drinking. They start liking this feeling of numbness or whatever the feeling the alcohol gives you. And I think it becomes, alcohol is just, I can drive 2Ks down the road and buy alcohol. You know what I'm getting at? So it's so accessible. Like you could just get it anywhere. And I think because of that, and it's something that myself and Gavin or anyone that wants to try and stop alcohol cannot do. It's a multi-billion-dollar empire, and it's worldwide. And I see more and more being sober, not because now I'm sober and I can preach the word to people, please be sober. But I don't think we have the power of trying to stop it. But when you ask what I think of it, I think it is just accessible and it's easy for anyone. When I was 16, I was sending my 18-year-old friend to buy me booze as long as I could buy him booze. That kind of thing. So it's unstoppable, put it that way. And I think it's just a very cruel intention for people to have to go through that.
And it's something that's difficult to sight pass. It's something that's, like you said, it's so accessible. It's difficult to actually be sober in society.
Yep.
Of course.
This is what took us so long to get to that period. Is in our world, wherever we go, it's totally acceptable that we can drink with a band. You know what I mean? So for us, it took so long because of that whole concept. But eventually, we were either going to die, or we were going to change our lives around. And the thing is, I think there's just a lack of support on awareness on the people that struggle with it. First of all, the people that struggle with it, there's a lack of that. When I say a lack of support, I mean we just need a lot more of support, a lot more of awareness brought behind it, and then I think a lot more awareness to the underage problem, because that's a serious issue. If we don't help the children, what chance does the future have?
Exactly. What's happening? The thing that's happening is we all start off, going to a braai and with our buddies, and we have a couple of drinks, and then some people have addictive personalities. So I remember with myself, I'd play golf on a Tuesday and drink with my buddies, but then they would only drink on Tuesdays and maybe a Saturday at a braai, where I started drinking every day. So my Tuesdays with them would still be me going there bubblers drinking. Like they weren't seeing that it was a once a week or twice a week thing. I had addiction. I drank every day, and I drank a lot every day. And I think that starts off, cool, I'm a kid, and it's cool to get drunk, and I'm going to go to a nightclub. Because let's be factual here, guys. Being sober, like I think, Gav, you said it on Sunday, is boring. Unless, do you know what I'm saying? Unless, because socializing includes alcohol. So we go to the pub, we buy a drink, the alcohol gives us confidence. Let's say we're single. Now we would have never chatted to that girl sober. So now we've got a bit of oof and krach in us. Now we can go chat to that girl. Or you're sitting at the pub chatting to another guy about your life, about, oh man, I had a hard day at work, blah, blah, blah. So alcohol is very known as a social bring together thing. And from my addiction, I started DJing, and so I'm not bored. I just DJ every day, because I used to love, that was my habit,
Yes.
But yeah, that's pretty much.
So,
Yeah,
Gavin,
it's sort of like.
sorry, you've spoken about failure being the roadmap to where you're meant to, or who you're meant to become. Can you unpack that idea in the context of this song, Calling on Angels?
Well, I think, I tell you what, I think rock bottom's an interesting place. The first verse of the song, it actually is speaking about while the words were coming out, I was picturing the room in LA where was my rock bottom. And, at rock bottom, that's when it went into the chorus with Calling on Angels, because at that moment I called out to God and I said, I can't anymore. I don't want to anymore, but I can't carry this load anymore. If you can help me with this. And, there's the scripture, Psalm 91, verse 11, which he'll send his angels to protect us. And I think he did that with myself and Dale. But it was the failures that I'm talking about is almost like this roadmap. And what it led us to is to being totally broken. And in that moment, understanding that our foundation is broken. We need to rebuild our foundation so we can go back up again. Because me and Dale, we've had wonderful lives, wonderful careers, and we kept building on this broken foundation and build up houses, buy cars, flying around the world, singing gigs and everything. It just keeps crumbling down, This song is in that moment to understand that there's a higher power, that if you call on him to rebuild the foundation with you and you build that foundation on top of him, you can do amazing things.
I love that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the song, and then after the song we're gonna unpack some more of this. So
amazing.
You guys have to hold on. Seeing as you're not in studio, you can go make yourself coffee at home, and then
awesome.
while we play this song, and then we'll come back and talk more about this. So here is wel nou moet ek oorslaan Afrikaans toe weer. Jy sien dis dan val my tor af tussen die twee. So ons gaan bietjie luister na Prime Circle. Dis hulle nuwe ene, Calling on Angels. Jy kan vir my laat weet wat dink jy van hierdie ene? 061 610 4576.
Another empty room, another broken frame.
Wow, guys, that song is incredible. I got some WhatsApps, somebody saying dis 'n mooi song, Afrikaans obviously. It's anders as wat 'n mens aangewoond is. Love it. Somebody else said, yes, stunning song.
Thank you.
That is incredible. And I think the main thing about this, like I said, you decided to do this in Recovery Month, and maybe we can talk a bit about what Recovery Month is, because I don't necessarily think people know, and people that need to get help don't necessarily know how to start or what to do. So maybe you guys can give some advice.
Well, there's you got SANCA, which is the South African organization for alcoholics and drug addicts and all that. So there are the hotlines that you can phone. First of all, I think the most important thing is reaching out to the people that are the closest to you, to start off the whole thing on that you have a problem, that you'd love to change this. It doesn't matter how many times you're going to do that as well. I did it 1 million times, and lucky for me, I'm blessed that the people that stuck with me, but some didn't. So I think reaching out to an organization like SANCA is very important. I think support that we can all give an organization like SANCA would be really important. And send us messages as well to me and Dale. Send it to us and we'll let you know, because here's the interesting thing, like for Dale and I, we have these lives that are pretty fantastical and never boring, and we're on the road and all of this. Well, it can get boring, but what I'm saying is we see different things and all this, and we do understand that people sort of have these normal lives, 9 to 5ers at home and everything like this. I think it's trying to figure out how to find things to replace. It's not that you want to replace an addiction with another addiction, but just reframe your mind into knowing, because the biggest thing for me, it used to say that my life is going to become so boring. I'm going to be boring. I'm going to have no personality. And it was further from the truth. It gave me this sense of power that I could say no to something that was the strongest thing in my life, the strongest thing that I could never say no to. And in that, I started making choices with work-wise. I started working a lot harder. I started rehearsing, especially like for Prime Circle, like you cannot believe, started training as well. So this new aspect of excitement comes up from where you thought all your good times were going to be gone. You get them in these other places, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
I think...
Sorry.
No, go, Dale.
So I think like the whole thing about National Recovery Month is basically to inspire people to take this month of September and not do anything. So if they've got a drinking problem, or they don't have a drinking problem, they just drink on weekends, or they've got a problem with smoking, or let's say drugs, whatever the case is to try and take this September and stay sober. Just as it's like it's sort of like a challenge for yourself to say, okay, I've got these days in September to stay sober. And some people do it to prove to themselves, well, I don't have a problem. I can drink on weekends and not. But sometimes the weekend drinker also, maybe his problem is every Friday, every Saturday for the rest of his life he wants to drink. That's a problem to a degree, because it's still internally ruining your kidneys and your liver, and when you're drunk, you're doing silly things, and you're drinking and driving maybe, and this month you're not going to do any of that, put it that way.
I think it's very important for people to know that living a sober life, when you have a problem, obviously I also want to reiterate, I know there's people that drink that do not have a problem, that drink once every month or 100%. Something. So that's fine. But if you do know that you have a problem, is to actually really make a plan and get yourself sober and not think that you're going to live a boring life like you just said. Because the funny thing is, people always think, I've known a few people in my life, and especially in our industry, you would know, but I've known a few people in my life that they think they get better when they drink, and I actually like them less. But they don't necessarily realize it.
Can I tell you an interesting story? I'll tell you an interesting story, right? That's Dale right there. Dale said to us the last time, right? This was what, year and a half ago, dude. It felt like it was just the other day. So he says, "No, I'm telling you, trust me, I play better when I'm drunk." And we're like, "No, you don't.
You don't.
You think you do." And he's like a machine, this one. He's like, so even though he did play really, really good, he now plays phenomenally tight. But his mind was telling him something different. Same as me. I thought I became this fantastic singer, and everyone's turning to me and going, "But we can hear your voices going by the end of the night," and it keeps happening all the time. And it was our brains trying to convince us that we're pretty much awesome people on it. We got the best dance moves in the world when we get on that dance floor. And when you stand on the outside now, you can ask Dale, and you look on the inside, and he was doing some cover gigs there as well in the pubs, and you see it firsthand there. You stand looking, going, "Oh, wow, I thought I was a rock star." That was me on the dance floor. I was like, So it's crazy. And a lot of people, I'll say this a lot of times, the product is not the problem. It's going to be around forever. I've said it with the fire. The fire is always there. If you stick your hand in, you're going to get burnt. Some of us stick our hands in there and we get burnt. We need to stop doing that. But the fire will remain. So that's that awareness we want to raise as well, is that all of this stuff's not going away. And all of this stuff's not a problem to other people. But the people that have a problem with it, we want to help. We want to bring awareness to that. It's also going down into the younger ages. We have to be vocal about it, in talking more, in understanding how to help all these people that cannot say no, because it lands in one place, and that's where you have got nothing and you're dead. And Dale ended up in hospital, where that was going to be the next step. That's where it ends up. We've got to we just got to help.
I think also that where I personally realized that South Africa as a whole has a drinking problem, and I'm not even talking about other drugs and things that goes with that, is I worked overseas, and my name tag said Annelie, and it said South Africa. And the first thing Americans said to me was, "You're from South Africa. Oh, so you can drink." And I'm like, what? So, and that's the perception.
I moved to Dublin for 5 years, and Dublin and Ireland is known to be the heaviest drinkers in the world. And the 5 members in our band, after that 5 years, the whole of Ireland understood that South Africans, you don't mess with them. No. We
really do have a drinking problem.
Yeah, we do, definitely.
And I think it's something that we should talk about more. Like you said, it is starting to affect younger and younger kids.
It's just, we've got to watch for the kids.
It's something that we are supposed to say, it's okay. As long as you can admit it. I think that's the biggest thing, is when do you get to the point where you realize, okay, I really have a problem.
That there's so many, like I was in New York, and I was sitting at a bar once, and I had 2 drinks, and the guy stopped serving me. It's such a big thing over there for them to stop certain people and say enough is enough. And I wasn't even drunk. And I said, "What?" And he said, "It's my responsibility. If I serve you another one and something happens outside, I'm liable for that." So there's laws in different countries and age things and all of this, and more of awareness of the repercussions of what it can do to someone in the hands of the person it's not good with. That's the awareness we need to be. This isn't it's not something for everyone. Alcohol's not something for everyone. It's just some people should be staying away from it. And if we can help with that awareness, and help with the ones that are already in the hole, it's a very deep hole to be in.
I do also think that it is very important, like I said, to shine a light on this. Somebody actually just sent a message to our studio WhatsApp line saying, ek gaan nou in Afrikaans lees. Ek dink is baie nice dat julle mense bewus maak van waar hulle hulp kan kry. Ek is self 'n recovering heroin addict en ek is al 11 jaar skoon. Ek is maar 27 jaar oud en ek was deur Sanka gehelp. Ek is elke dag dankbaar dat ek nie meer daai pad stap nie. He's 27 years old. And
27.
Or she, I think it's she maybe. 27 years old only and already 11 years sober.
Already been through all of that. Been through all of that.
And that shows you that kids
she must know that she probably spent her teens with this problem to be that long sober. But it's amazing that she said Sanka helped her out. That's incredible. I think we've reached out to Sanka, and I think myself and Dale and Prime, we're going to reach out again to Sanka and just see where we can help in any way, we can actually get more involved, so that there is a platform and a phone number that sort of is so accessible. It's like the 911 number in America, that everyone knows there's a number that I can call.
And one last question, or I think our Zoom meeting is going to end soon, but one last question is, do you, or how did this affect your families? Coming to a point where you said, okay, I'm stopping. I know you've been 10 years sober, Gavin, but Dale, a year and a half. How has this affected your family?
So I lost 2 marriages to alcohol. So both wives warned me and said they don't want to be, because it's all fun in the beginning. So we all rock stars and drinking and partying, and then when that 4-year hits in the relationship, then it's like, are you going to ever stop drinking? I'm like, nah, I like alcohol too much. So I lost 2 wives. I have a beautiful girlfriend currently that stays sober with me, and she supports me on everything, and she also studied theology, so she's teaching me a lot of the way of God. So I've become very, very religious, and I've got a lot of faith in the big man and Jesus. So if I could say it's affected me in a good way, it's affected me in a great way.
That is amazing to hear.
I think as well, we spoke about this. I was on a podcast with Carla and Dale this weekend, and that was another topic where there's support needed is the partners. I mean, my wife, what she went through is incredible, and that she's still around. I can thank the Lord for that. But there's not just awareness we need to bring to the people that are the addicts, but there's awareness that can be, and support given to the partners, because people do not want to get divorced. They don't want to get divorced from their partner. They love them with all their life, but they're watching them turn to something that is just that they don't want anymore. And that support as well, and knowing how long do you support, where do you support, all of that. That's massive. Actually, is the partner support.
Yeah,
guys,
it's a big thing.
You are amazing. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you for
this song. I hope to see you guys soon in studio here at Groot FM 90.5. We really need some prime circle in our lives. You know we love you. So thank you so much, and good luck on the road wherever it takes you from here on.
Thank you
so much. Thank you for the interview as well.
Okay.
God bless everyone.
Love you guys. Bye.
Daar
het jy dit, 'n Prime Circle op Groot FM 90.5, 'n ongelooflike lekker interview wat ek nou gehad het met Gavin en Dale, spesifiek oor herstel maand, is die mooi Afrikaans, recovery month, spesifiek oor daai alkoholmisbruik wat in hulle lewens was. Ek weet ander mense het dwelmmisbruikprobleme, en om 'n lig op dit te skyn en te sê, weet jy wat, ons is self hierdeur. Ons kan jou hiermee help, asseblief kry hulp. En ek dink dit is baie, baie belangrik. En daai liedjie van hulle is net ongelooflik. Dis Calling on Angels, dis op al die streaming platforms, gaan kyk, jy wil dit nie mis nie. Ek dink jy kan hom gaan aflaai. Hulle musiekvideo, wou ek nog oor gepraat het en ons het nie eers daarby uitgekom nie, maar hulle musiekvideo gaan dan ook Vrydag vrygestel word, en dis blykbaar amazing. So
Ek wil net een ding sê, ek stem saam, soos jy my nou ken, Annelie, dink jy ek's boring nou, of my lewe is boring nou?
Glad nie.
Sien presies.
Glad nie boring nie.
8 jaar later en ons nog steeds nie boring nie. Dis
Yes, is
eintlik
dit
te
al
veel
8
soms.
jaar?
Dis Januarie 8 jaar.
Wow, Lise.
Ja.
En ek het vir Prime Circle gejok. Ek het vir hulle gesê jy trek op 5 of 6, joh.
Ja nee, ons is al daar.
Jo, wow, dis amazing. Dit is net sien daar is 'n ander pad, daar is 'n nie boring pad, daar is hulp. Bly asseblief lewendig. Want hierdie kos mense se lewens op verskillende maniere. Goed, ek het verskriklik baie gepraat hier Taylor Swift met Anti-Hero.
Groot FM 90.5